बरसाओ मेरा महबूब आया है बहारों फूल
Hello, ladies and
बरसाओ
gentlemen. Welcome to
मेरा
Triple N Media. I am
महबूब
Nik NIkam. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how I try to practice a new Bollywood song for a Smule or for karaoke session. So there are several steps, and the main focus is going to be how to master a new Bollywood song for a Smule competition or a karaoke session. The first step I would do would be to get lyrics on your word processor. You need to edit it as you listen to the song lines and make notes. Let me show you, and here is my lyrics for this song. Let me, if I can move it here. The song I'm going to be practicing is going to be Baharo Phool Barsao Mera Mehboob Aaya Hai Mera Mehboob Aaya Hai. Okay, once we get the entire lyrics for the song, make sure that every line is recorded, not just the first stanza. After you have done that one, we're going to go back to our PowerPoint here. In the lyrics, we need to put down the notation. We need to put down cues where the line starts, where are the pauses, where does the interlude music start, things like that. The next step is search for the song notations. Song notations are extremely important to learn each phrase or each line at a time, and find the notations preferably in the original key. I usually transpose them into Western notations. You need to learn if they are doing it in C sharp and if the song is in G sharp, you need to know how to move the entire song to G sharp so you can sound like the original emotional feelings that is in the original song. Write down the notations as they match each word. What do I mean by that? Let me go back to my word processor here. See, like here, for example, Baharo, C sharp, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, Phool, F sharp, G sharp, A, Barsao. So these are the notations. You should know exactly where these notes fall. You follow my word processor here. You can follow this. The next step is we need to practice each one of these lines using a keyboard. And of course, I have a keyboard here. I don't know if you can see it. I have a keyboard here, and I'm going to just play a couple of lines just to give you an idea as how to practice each line at a time. Let me see if I can bring up my word processor here so I know what notes to use. So let's see, here's my word processor here. Okay, now as you know, this starts, it's in key C sharp. Sa re, ga, ma, pa. There is a komal dha, regular dha. Mi, sa. We don't even use C, sa. So the key goes like that. So Baharo Phool, F sharp, D sharp, A sharp, A, Phool Barsao. So you get the idea. Baharo Phool Barsao. In this way, you practice every line until you can play that song in the keyboard if you can. The next step is, let's go back here. You transpose this and practice these lines. The next step, of course, I talked about the keyboard. Let's move on to the, now you need to download a copy of the MP3 song from the internet. Beware of viruses when you do that. You also need to download a software called Audacity, which most of you are familiar with, so I'm not going to really emphasize too much on that. You load this MP3 song, and as you can see, we can play here. Okay, now I find the first phrase where it starts. Let's see. Okay, this is where I am going to be doing some magic according to my plan. We highlight it like this, and then you press Shift L, which will loop. As you can see in the top here, it kind of made a shadow here. So we're going to use this loop to practice the line as Muhammad Rafi has sung.
फूल बरसाओ मेरा महबूब आया है.
What is interesting is when I have that one, I also have my word processor here. I need to find out what cues I need to mark, where the word pauses, where the sentence begins, things like that. So now just watch me again. I'm going to come back to this Audacity.
फूल बरसाओ मेरा महबूब आया है बहारों.
Okay, you know, you say, well, that's easy. Anybody can sing the chorus. Let's see if we can sing the. Okay, now here I got this line. I'm going to loop this one. You just drag this one like this and Shift L. It's going to lock it. Now here I'm in the stanza. What I want you to do is put pauses like this here, as where, if you see, there's a gap. I'm in the Audacity in the waveform. Pause. Mehendi. So now there's a big pause here. So it's the next line. So that's how you practice each line. Once you have done that, let's go to the next step here. And you also mark these pauses where the line begins. So you have to have a note, couple of notes before the line begins when you loop and when it ends. In that way, you know where the line begins. So when you're listening to the karaoke, you know where the line begins. For example, here, Mera mehboob aaya hai. The ting 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 begins with the word hi. Hi. Mera mehboob aaya hai. You can follow the word process here. Mera mehboob aaya hai. Ting 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 ting. So it begins with the word hey. Alright, so let's move on to the next step. Download a Tanpura app on your smartphone. Like for example, I have a paid version, this iTabla Pro, which I have a paid version of this iTabla Pro, but I'm going to set this to C sharp because I know that's the scale I'm going to be using. So I'm going to set this song to C sharp. Then I'm going to go back to my word processor here. Okay, and I have my word processor here, as you can see. Let me bring it here so you can see it. Now I'm going to just play this tanpura and try to sing the line with not worrying about the rhythm at this time, and see how we can kind of memorize these lines. बहारों फूल बरसाओ, मेरा महबूब आया है, मेरा महबूब आया है। हवाओं रागनी गाओ, मेरा महबूब आया है, मेरा महबूब आया है। ओ लाली फूल की मेहंदी लगाई गोरे हाथों में. Okay, so now you practice the entire song with no other instruments, just the tanpura, because you know that you're in the same scale and you know that your voice is meshing with the tanpura notes. And then once you have practiced, the final step is to record your own song in Audacity with tanpura and see how close you come to the original song. Of course, you want to sound like you because that's your unique voice, which is like fingerprint. It can never be the same as the original singer, and you don't want to be because you want to add some nuances to your own songs once you master it. Then ask somebody else to listen to it and make some comments. And when you're listening back to the original song and comparing it to the songs you have recorded, look for diction. Are you saying each word correctly? I mean, that's the most important thing. Number two, timing. Where does the line begin? And where does it say, oh lali phool ki mehndi? So the intonation has to be built into the practice. Then pauses between words, which I talked about. Flow of music. Of course, the most important thing is to bring in the emotions in that particular song. But it will happen. It's just a matter of practice. And when you practice on the keyboard, make sure the notes match with the words in the lyrics. That's the most important thing. When you put all these things together, it looks like a mammoth exercise. When you do it for the first time, it may take a month. But however, after you have done it for so many times, you can probably do a new song within a day, I would say. First, if you go through these various steps, yeah, you can do it. Now, let's see here. Thank you so much for watching this presentation, and I hope this will help you to improvise your karaoke competitions on Smule or any other events. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay,